Called over the April 27th meeting of the Wenham Conservation Commission. In attendance for the commission tonight is Ken Whitaker, Jeff Ham, Jack Claire, the estimable William Stronzi, and I'm Phil Colors, the chairperson. The meeting will be recorded, so please don't say anything bad about the chairperson. If you want to be heard, raise your hand and recognize you and give your time. Okay, Kate.
All right, first up, we've got the public hearing for 255 Grapevine Road. The Wenham Conservation Commission will conduct a public hearing in accordance with the Wetlands Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Wenham Water Resources Protection Bylaw, Chapter 242, at 7 p.m. on Monday, April 27th, 2026, to discuss the notice of intent filed by Gordon College, 255 Grapevine Road, Wenham, Mass., represented by Waterfield Design Group, Inc., 50 Cross Street, Winchester, Mass., to permit the construction of a music center, walkway, and maintenance path reconfiguration, stormwater management structures, landscaping, electrical transformer and generator, and associate apparatus. How do you say that word? Thank you. Within the Conservation Commission, thank you. Jurisdiction at 255 Grapevine Road, Assessors Map 43, Lot 1. Plans and accompanying documents can be viewed at the Wenham Land Use Office at 138 Main Street during regular business hours, online, or contacting the office. This meeting is occurring in person at the Wenham Town Hall and via Zoom and online meeting platform. Information and instructions on their remote participation is available on the Conservation Commission agenda, which was posted on the town's calendar of events at wenhamma.gov. Philip Colarusso, chairman, and this was published in the HW News Friday, April 17th, 2026. Now, I just want to make sure, iPhone 8, I just want to make sure, can you hear and see us?
Yes, sorry about that. This is Jim Guyry with Walsh Brothers. I was having some computer issues, so I needed to log in through my phone.
Oh, great. No problem. I just wanted to make sure you could hear. Thank you.
Okay, great.
So, good evening, Conservation Commission. I am Jacob Murray from Waterfield Design Group. We're the civil engineer and landscape architect on the project. The Adams Center for Music, which is the official name of the project now, for Gordon College, 255 Grapevine Road. Also this night are Robert and Amanda from Epstein Jocelyn, the architect, and then Deborah and Ethan from Accenture, the project manager, and then Chris Hemming from Gordon College, and a couple of people, I believe, from Walsh Brothers, the contractor, are with us remotely online, as there's already a contractor on board, and we're ready to build as soon as we get through permitting and through classes this year.
Can I trouble you just to give us the last names too?
Oh, yes. So Robert
Yeah,
Picardi from Epstein Johnson Picardi Architects.
Amanda Delavian.
Ethan Butler.
Deborah Mariah.
There you go. I'll actually have Robert and Amanda kind of give a brief overview of the building and the renderings and kind of what's going on here. And then I can walk you through the site issues and the conservation issues and then open to questions.
Okay.
So what you see here is a rendering of the new Adams Center. It's directly in the center of the campus. So this sidewalk that you can see connects through the thoroughfare of the campus down to the chapel, which is on the west side of this building. The building itself neighbors the existing Phillips Music School, and is a separate new construction building, though it does have some physical connections to that existing building. This building expands both the music and the arts department, serving the campus and the broader community with a large concert hall on the right side there. So that's a 500-seat performance hall, as well as lobby and support spaces in the center, and then educational spaces, an ensemble rehearsal room, and a classroom on the upper level with additional educational spaces on the basement level. So 2 stories above ground and then whole basement below.
Want to show the other, go to the next slide. This is good.
Yeah, again, looking through the center of the campus back towards the chapel, the building is all accessed from the ground level here and then connected back to the Phillips building behind it, with some public spaces in front connecting to the concert hall on the inside there.
And the materiality of the building, as you can see, it's all brick. And we have flat roofs with EPDM roofing, and we're capturing all of the roof water and tying it into the below grade drainage system, so we don't have any water from the building going onto the site paths and area around the building.
So where does that? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not seeing any downspouts.
Yes, let me, and well, it's a flat roof, so it'll collect inside and come out sort of underneath. the building.
Okay. Is that an aesthetic choice or is that an engineering choice?
I think both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for them it's aesthetic, for us, we love it, like I hate downspouts, I much prefer to have something coming from outside the building, I can control where it comes, I don't have to have a bunch of piping around the building, so. You can move on to the next slide, just kind of give you the whereabouts. This is the existing conditions plan, so, there we go, so Koi Pond is our wetland, we then have Princemere Drive. We then have, which is, there within 20-30 feet of the wetlands, we have the 50-foot institutional limit of work. The 70-foot institutional no build line that you see there, the 100-foot wetland buffer that goes through the existing Phillips Center, and all this area here there's some landscaping, but it's not natural, it's all lawn, etc. And then here is natural on the other side of Princemere Drive, which is an internal road. And then you have the existing Phillips Music Building. So this is our general site as it is now. And then Kate, you can go to the next slide. So the new building is here. It's about 1,500 square feet, which 15,000 square feet. And most of it, as you can see, is and really most of the work is within between the 100 and 200 foot. This building is being built on top of existing walkways. And we're basically just we're expanding the building, putting a new building, and then moving the walkway so that the main thoroughway is over here and that the associated paths to Lane and to the cafeteria and to the other buildings are reconfigured with a bit of a plaza here. And then also another one on the internal area as well. So you can keep there. Yeah, actually, no work is proposed, just to note, within the 70 and 50-foot areas. There's small areas of transformer and generators that are kind of being put in the back of the building that will be landscaped around as well, within the 100-foot area, just on the edge.
Excuse me, all of the tone stuff is new?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
all the color stuff is.
All right.
You can do that slide. I mentioned it's a mix of redevelopment and new development because it is increasing the impervious area by about 14,800 square feet, with the new building taking up a lot of footprint where there were some vegetated areas. We are going to meet all the state and local requirements for drainage by proprietary separators and then underground infiltration chambers. The site actually has a very good sandy alluvial soils that are native to the area, and so we anticipate very good infiltration and cleaning of the water as well through that process. The other utilities in general will there's internal campus main for water line that'll be going around the edges. Electrical and telecom are both. This is the main thoroughway for them, so they'll be connecting off of them as well. And then sewer will come out to the building to the existing main that goes then pumps down to Grapevine Road. So they'll be here. We're showing 40 underground infiltration chambers. And then you can go to the next slide to show landscaping. So the site is removing 14 trees within the 200-foot buffer zone. So within that area, we are replacing with 19 trees, many that are closer. So I guess the only work I would say that we are within the 70-foot no build line is to revegetate the area and replace lawn area with some new proposed trees. So, and those are all native species that are going to be an upgrade over what is existing there and be able to kind of grow into the area as well as they mature. They'll all start at least 2.5, 3 inches in diameter and work from there.
So could, a couple things. One, I appreciate you expanding on jurisdiction. We don't have a 70-foot no belt. So
There is, I thought that.
only 30 feet, but we'll You want to, I'm building 70 feet, I'm not gonna
I
argue
thought,
with you,
I'll have to check what I said in the regulation.
but, could you, give us the, the species of trees you're talking about here?
If we go down to the corner, we can see them.
To the left?
Yeah, to the left here.
Right.
Yeah, sir, whatever. Anyway. So. Got typical autumn brilliant serviceberry, Palisade American hornbeam, Eastern redbird, golden glory, cherry.
So, just, I guess what I'm after is, they're all native,
They're all native, yes, sorry if I mentioned that. Yeah,
not decorative, okay?
yes, yeah.
Are you replacing, you said you were replacing it with 19 trees?
Yeah, we're losing 14 and we're replacing the 19.
And are the 14 that you're losing, is it sort of like a proportional split between evergreen deciduous shrub?
Yes, yes. We're trying
Carrying
to,
that
yeah, we're-
proportionality through.
yes. No, and that's actually documented here. So it looks like 3 evergreens are being moved, being taken down. They're replaced with 9 evergreens. 11 deciduous are being taken down. They're being replaced with 11 deciduous.
Gonna have to sit closer to the screen next time.
That in general is the project. The walkways will be, there are walkways there. These will be reconfigured. There's actually some more landscaping outside. The 200-foot just for the beauty of the campus as well. Those are native species as well. So it's a project that's not, we're not encroaching on any type of wooded area. This is all lawn. It's existing campus. We're bringing the building this way instead of moving it towards the pond. And limiting keeping that area, creating really even more of a wooded area in there with the landscaping that will be added. We're also going for zoning board appeals on Wednesday for site plan review.
So the transformer and the generator, are there other things that will be in that zone?
No, just so there'll be the transformer, the generator, and then there'll be electrical lines that'll come back into campus from them to power the building.
Above ground or?
Both above ground. They'll have to be accessed for maintenance on a regular, not, semi-regular basis, and if you go below ground, then there's got to be confined space entry every time you have to maintain it. It's not, nobody likes to do it, and it's more expensive, and it's also actually a whole lot less safe. Obviously, have people go into a transformer that they have to maintain with that type of power that's in there in the confined area.
What is, excuse me, what is gonna be happening with the spoils that are gonna come out of all the construction?
They'll be taken off site.
Will there be any storage on site while it's going on?
Yeah, I don't know if someone from Walsh is online, they might be able to better,
Most likely, we're getting the soil characterization testing lined up right now.
Okay. And all construction equipment's gonna be coming in from what direction? From, they're coming in from the street by Koi Pond?
they will be coming in through Prince-Mere, and they will have a construction entrance that they'll be cleaning the trucks before they leave it, before they leave the site. If you want to go up, Kate, to, actually, I don't think so the main entranceway, because of where it's situated, Grapevine Road is down here.
Yep.
But that's not really a great access way, so there will be vehicles coming in off of Prince-Mere around here.
So is there gonna be any sort of, assuming the trucks will be cleaned when they exit and enter the property, but while they're traversing from here to the entrance and exit, they could be shedding mud, dirt.
While they're, so the construction, the construction and the cleaning will be at the parking area. So they will be dirty while they're in this area, but this will they'll be surrounded with hay bales. And I think actually if we go down, Kate, past the color plans, I get to the site prep and development plan.
Obviously, where I was going with that is there's gonna be need for any sort of, remediation along the.
So if you
there.
go up one, Kate,
Not remediation,
nope, sorry,
Mitigation.
mitigation.
keep down.
So, Jim, do you want to add to this conversation? Because I know you thought about the logistics.
If you go down one.
Jim is, with Walsh Brothers, the contractor.
Yeah, I'd like to hear too about a staging area, like where supplies and materials will be.
Deb, do you have our logistics plan that you could pull up?
I don't think we have that here, do we? No.
Yeah, it wouldn't be part of the submittal.
Yeah, wasn't sure it's no.
But we have a full logistics plan that we have, that we had submitted and will submit with the town. We could certainly get that to you. But everything will be staged within our construction zone, which is in and around the new building itself. All trucks are coming off of 128 directly to the site. And then at each gate, we'll have wheel wash stations, riprap, as well as street sweepers during heavy trucking operations. At the moment, we're working through some decisions with the school, whether, how much soil will be stockpiled on site and reused, or what will be removed and then brought back.
Those squiggly lines are
Yeah, so here, this is the erosion control, sill stop. And then everything else is kind of obviously covered in building.
what's the grade there?
You started the grade.
Yeah.
So in the general building area, it's very flat, and then after even the parking lot is rather flat, and then there is a steep drop off down here once you get off at the site beyond the limit of work.
So the erosion control is at the top of the grade?
Yes.
Right, Leo.
Mr. Chairman, when the chair recognizes me, I have a couple of questions.
Right ahead.
Couple of questions for the architect, the landscape architect. What's the name of your company?
Waterfield Design Group.
Say the
Waterfield Design Group?
Field, Water Seal Design Group.
Field like a field.
Are you new with Gordon College?
No, we've done a number of projects with them.
In the last 2 or 3 years, or even before that?
Even before that.
I see. Was Ben Gary with your company?
No, Ben Gary was the landscape architect before us. But that was, I met him 20 years ago, so it was a while ago.
If I heard it right, that there's no activity within the 100-foot buffer zone. Is there heavy trucks within that buffer zone and?
Yeah, the heavy trucks within the buffer zone are just heavy trucks on an internal campus road.
On roads that are already
Paved.
used for sometimes heavy trucks like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Correct.
I wonder if that's the case, and any planting done in the buffer zone is native trees, you're adding trees and landscaping. Why didn't you apply for a determination of applicability instead of a?
It's a pond, so it's a 200 foot.
200 foot.
It's a 200 foot.
I see. All right. Thank you.
Or one of these documents, the
I don't know if we,
This is a ZBA submission.
For the logistics plan.
I don't know if
I
we
don't
had
have
it.
so I can talk somewhat to it. If you wanna, bring up the other. I believe the open question is on the laydown area.
Jordan, can you send the logistics plan to Deb so she can pull it up?
I probably won't be able to do that now.
Okay, sorry.
I don't have the, it's not my computer.
So at the south of here, is Chase Hall. So essentially will be, there's a kind of an open field in between the main thoroughfare and Chase Hall right now. So the thought is to kind of have construction fencing around there, and that will be the main laydown area, is kind of the central south area of the plan right here.
And also there was a recently removed building that was on campus, and they have a kind of an empty lot to the left of Chase Hall, and we're
Yeah.
using that lot as well for staging.
Question.
There'll be no staging within the 100-foot area.
I haven't had a chance to review these drawings before, but my understanding is the only intrusion that you have in the 100-foot buffer is the transformers and the power station.
In general,
Those are the upper left and the upper right.
yes.
And there's all outside of that, all that activity is essentially separated from the 100-foot buffer zone by an existing building.
Yes, use the building, then we'll erosion control in 2 areas in between.
Okay, thank you.
So the plans you submitted are pre-application plans, they're not final.
They are final plans. Yeah.
That's not what they say.
Oh, yeah, we had to take that off. I know we did talk, in touch with Kate about that. So.
So we're gonna get final plans.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And can you send us the logistic plan as well?
Yes.
Great.
Any more questions from the commission? Done.
The only thing well, maybe we're getting ahead of myself, the only suggestion, if we can, allow, periodic inspections by UK or somebody from us, just to make sure during construction, the erosion controls and so forth is properly maintained. It's the only condition that. So.
You're gonna wear a hard hat?
Yeah, I lost my old one, that includes.
That's pretty common, obviously, so.
Is there, I know there are, there's someone online who wants to make a statement, so I'll open up to the audience if anyone would like to be heard. Ann, would you like to read your letter into the record?
Yes, I would. My name is Ann Giroux. I live at 821 Bay Road in Hamilton. I am a member of the steering committee of a group called HW Dark Sky. I have another member of the steering committee on the call as well with me tonight, Kathy Simons. And we have questions about the proposed lighting. So this group, HW Dark Sky, it's an ad hoc citizens group that's advocating for reasonable lighting practices in Hamilton and Wenham. And on behalf of HW Dark Sky, Kathy and I are offering our comment letter as follows. The proposed music center will be built in an environmentally sensitive area next to Koi Pond and within wetland buffer areas, as well as the 200-foot pond buffer zone, which collectively we're calling the buffer areas. Excessive nighttime lighting will have a detrimental impact on the protected wildlife and wildlife habitat in these areas. It has been shown in numerous studies that artificial light at night negatively impacts plants, migrating birds, insects including fireflies, bats, salamanders, and toads. For example, trees can drop their leaves later in the season, and certain insects and bats will avoid the area entirely. Other insects are attracted to or become confused in the presence of artificial light, and as a result, change their behavior to their detriment. The plans submitted to the Conservation Commission show exterior lighting in the form of bollard lights, Bega light poles, and campus standard light poles. But for details on those light fixtures, the plans then refer the reader to an illumination plan, and I believe in one instance a lighting plan, yet the applicant failed to include an illumination plan or lighting plan in its submittal, at least as far as I could see. So for the above reasons, we request that all new exterior lights at the project follow international dark sky guidelines. And to that end, we ask that all exterior lights, the new lights, should be pointed downward and be fully shielded, have a color temperature of no more than 2700 Kelvin to minimize glare, have an intensity that's no more than necessary to serve the purpose of the lights, and where practicable, be turned off and operate on motion detectors at night. We've also understand and have seen from a rendering here tonight that the music center will have large glass windows looking out over the landscape. We request that these windows be equipped with some sort of shades or blinds that are closed at dusk so the music center doesn't light up the night environment. We believe that the music center will be a wonderful addition to the community. However, it should be constructed in a manner that, to the extent feasible, minimizes its impact on wildlife and wildlife habitat within the buffer areas. We thank you for your consideration. If you have any questions, please let us know, or you can reach out to us at the email address that's noted in the memo that I've submitted.
We can say, I know that they are, in general, they're pointed downward, and they are seek to be fully shielded. I think for these other ones, we'll have to look into them. I don't know necessarily the kelvins of the proposed lights. We can have the illumination plan, and definitely, we can work where practical, although it's a college campus. Safety is obviously their primary goal, and so that they will want those lights to be on as necessary to make sure the students are safe. So, but we can respond to this letter and provide more information as well.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the audience who wants to be heard? Yes.
I'm just interested, I
Can
saw
you state your name and address, please?
Andreas Hansen, 26 Main Street, Wenham. And I'm just curious in terms of landscaping, I saw on the list that there was a naturalized daffodil bulb section in terms of the bulb plants. Is that just from the difficulty of getting spring ephemerals that are native from a nursery, or what was that decision?
Yes, I believe that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
Which just the hard, you have to propose something that's practical, to keep that the contractor can get, so, yes.
Who's the contract for landscaping?
Well, I don't know that we have that yet,
Oh.
we're not that far, we have a general contract, but not all of it.
Fair enough.
But I just, where are you as to the concern that, are you concerned about?
Oh, no, I'm just, in general, I find spring ephemerals are really hard to find when it comes to native alternatives. I don't find daffodils, like necessarily problematic. It just, if we could find truly native spring ephemerals or bulbs, that would be nice, but they are hard to find. So I fully understand why that choice is made. Yeah, I understand the difficulty myself, so.
Okay. Just trying to get my arms around it. Okay, is anyone else want to be heard on this?
I can't find my little flag to raise my hand, but this is Kathy
Oh.
Simmons.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, I just was a little bit unclear about the response. I guess there's going to be a lighting plan provided, but and some efforts made to provide lighting that has full shielding, but there wasn't a response to the issue of color temperature or total the brightness of the lights, or any response to the request that they be in keeping with to the degree possible with dark sky recommendations. So I just wasn't clear about what the next steps were going to be for and this is for the commission to determine, but whether there were going to be responses to those issues as well.
So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is commission will be receiving an illumination plan, which will hopefully address all or most of these points. They'll become part of the public record, so the public can then review them and comment further if they see fit to do so.
Yeah, from the architects also, Amanda Dell is going to be speaking, the lighting designer Lamb, their documents are not included, but they will include the color temperature and the intensity of the lights on their documentation, and we'll have them provide a statement on best practices for dark skies and how these relate to those practices. So we're happy to submit that in response.
Thanks very much.
Kathy, can you just state your address for the record, please?
245 Sagamore Street in Hamilton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, unless there's any more questions on this matter, I'd like to hear a motion to continue.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Seconded.
So do you think you can get all this information to us by the next meeting?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, which is
May
May
11th.
11th.
Yeah, I won't be wrong.
Okay, so the motion is to continue in the May 11th meeting.
So moved again, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor, Ken? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Jackie?
Yes.
Leo?
Yes.
And vote yes as well. Great, thank you.
Thank you all.
Feel free to stay for the invasive plants discussion.
We could, but then we might ask some challenging things. Have a good night. Thank you for coming.
Mr. Chairman, I understand.
You're not gonna stay for the airport? The airport? Yeah, actually.
Thank you all.
Are we
Thank
going
you.
on
You can-
forward with,
I don't know, I'm gonna find out.
I don't have an update on that. I don't know.
In a box. I can send it to you.
Yeah, so
We're doing like,
Yeah.
we're going to like,
It's not our.
the NBTA station in Beverly. We're
You've
seeing
never
all
been
these
there
trans-
before?
Yeah, and then we're gonna go to the airport. And they're building that massive
I
bank.
think they just have.
Have you seen it?
No.
What do they build? What are they building at the airport? On the plus side, they're building a massive hangar. A hangar? Hangar.
Is that in Danvers? Beverly? Danvers?
It is.
Wow.
Where you could park your airplane. All right, so you wanna?
Sure.
Your update on the airport?
Yeah, so next up is discuss the expanded environmental notification form filed with the Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs by the Beverly Airport Commission. So really, I just wanted to update on the meeting that we had with MEPA. As you know, you all signed the letter to the applicant Beverly Airport, and we had some questions regarding the expansion that is gonna happen at the airport.
Runway.
The runway expansion, yeah. And they would also fill over 13,000 isolated vegetated wetlands. And so,
13,000 square feet.
13,000 square feet.
13,000.
No, not 13,000 wetlands, yeah. Correct. So basically, I just wanted to let you guys know that we had a meeting with them. There was a response and we had a meeting with them. Some of the things I took away from this, and maybe you two would like to also say some things, but one of the biggest things that I thought could solve the problem would be to use the arrestor beds that Phil had mentioned, instead of expanding the runway and filling the wetlands. And basically, they told us that that's probably not gonna happen. So I think their exact words were, they're not great for smaller aircrafts, so safety wise, they're not great. They're higher cost, so cost wise, it's not great either. And basically, they're saying that the federal, these are federal resources and they wouldn't probably go for that. So that was the biggest thing I took out of it. What did you guys want to say anything?
I would reorder those as if it cost too much was the real reason.
Yeah,
And then the others.
Well, I do
Bye, Peter.
appreciate that,
Mr. Chairman? There's a lot of acreage on that airport. Did they mention, or was it a replication plan suggested? There's plenty of room for replication. I don't know if they considered it.
They have considered it. We haven't seen anything. They said when they come to us during the permitting process, they'll have a mitigation.
A replication.
Yes.
But I mean, there would be a lot more chance that we would be positive about the situation if they're gonna replicate 13,000 square feet or whatever
Or
they're
more.
or more than if they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's complicated a little bit by the fact that it's all, with the exception of one small piece, if I recall, it's all within fence lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of wildlife impact, you know.
But they don't get credit for that.
Yeah, understood.
As I said at the meeting,
Yeah,
just because wildlife use is limited because of the presence of the airport. We're not giving them the discount on the replication.
so there are tools that we have.
Yeah, so now it's going through the MEPA process and we wait, what do they say, a year? Maybe they'll come back to us with the notice of intent, so it's a ways off.
Are there any opportunities there instead of replication for enhancement of other wetlands that are in that area?
So to be honest with
I
you,
know,
I would be perfectly okay with them, like doing something fully offsite. Or even reserving open space somewhere else in Wenham. As opposed to trying to create,
yeah.
half acre freshwater wetlands somewhere in Wenham, which is 40% wetlands.
Mr. Chairman, as much as we guard and we cherish our jurisdiction, if any application that doesn't pose significant adverse effect to our jurisdiction, I don't think that we ought to inhibit progress. I mean, for the good of the,
Are we talking about Gordon or are we talking about the airport?
I'm talking about the airport, and that's what we're talking about now.
Okay, because pretty much filling wetlands, you don't get any more negative impact than that.
No, but if they replicate, like you just mentioned, more than they disturb, then we could be ahead of the game, environmentally.
I don't disagree with that.
As far as Gordon, there doesn't seem to be too much activity in that jurisdiction. I don't know where the center line of the pond is, but if they admit that it's within 200, they're within 200 feet, then they should apply for a notice of intent.
Yeah. Given the 70 feet, no built zone.
Thank you for recognizing me when I raise my hand.
You're the only one who does, Leo.
Well, you know, it's only courtesy that anybody, whether they're a visitor or a commissioner, they should ask to be recognized instead of just
follow his lead.
Instead of just voicing their opinions without being recognized.
Two things, there is a lot of information available, so I dug out a lot of stuff over the past week about noise levels and the testing that they did, so. I gotta give them credit, they've done a very thorough job of wiring this program up. What I found particularly frustrating is the fact that they say that they'll follow FAA regulations until they don't.
Yeah.
About, well, to the greatest extent practical, those are the rules that they're playing and they're taking advantage. So. I think we should push hard on getting replication, depending on their views, but it's going to be tough to have any significant impact on the portion system.
Great.
You know, excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Yep, go ahead.
Just a comment, we have this letter from Hamilton Wenham Dark Sky. I've never heard of them, and I'm ashamed that I haven't, and they make some points that I hadn't considered in the past, and I think that maybe it's something we should know more about and consider in the future.
Well, I agree, and I had to, when I got the letter, I had to go look up on the bylaws to see if we had the authority to address those type of issues, and the way I read the bylaw, I think we do.
We do.
Okay, so,
Mr. Chairman?
yeah,
So, I also noticed in the Hamilton Wenham News that they were also involved in the solar array that's proposed at the high school. And they were talking about lighting underneath that too. So they were actually in the Hamilton Wenham News discussing lighting for that project within Hamilton. And it is a big thing. Actually, I was watching PBS NewsHour the other night, and they were talking about in Denmark, they've got a whole roadway system designed around the dark sky initiative. So it's red color, it's, you know, on demand type of deal, everything's shielded, and it's they're trying to gain a lot more traction on this because it is a problem with the wildlife and how it interferes with their natural activities. But
if you go to, I'm sure you're familiar with this, you go to Florida and all those.
The beaches and the turtles.
Yes. Yeah.
Along those lines, perhaps we can invite members of that Dark Sky Commission to come in and educate us a little bit about maybe developing some type of position paper or guidelines as to how we might incorporate these into some projects.
Yeah, I mentioned that to Ann today, and they're gonna also talk to Hamilton as well, so she said that they'd be in touch.
Great.
Good idea.
Mr. Chairman, you also mentioned that check the regulations. How does that apply to the Conservation Commission law in this dark sky? I mean, we're in charge of the water.
Any activity that impacts resources, including wildlife habitat, under our jurisdiction, according to bylaws. The activities are not limited to dredging and filling of wetlands. So it's any activity related to the project. So I would interpret that to include lighting and there's also a clause in there that we can require a wildlife habitat study on the dime of the applicant. If we deem it to be necessary.
So take that from this.
I wonder if that means only, animal life that's habitat is our jurisdiction. In other words, there are some animals that are
Yeah.
outside our jurisdiction and don't enter our jurisdiction. But things like whether they be otters or seals, or whether they be.
If we get a seal in Coy Pond, we're gonna be. I mean,
Lime.
seal rise is really,
But we do have, you know,
Yeah.
fisher cats and,
yeah, we do.
yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Jim.
may I? So I also would suggest looking into this matter a little deeper. And so if the lights are outside of our jurisdictional zone, do we still have authority to regulate how those lights may affect the aquatic resource and the animals?
It might be something to talk about, the planning board with, because they're redoing the subdivision rules and regulations right now, which includes lighting. So that actually might be a perfect time.
Yeah.
Coordinate with planning.
It'd be good to have clarity on that.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think
Great
any
idea.
aquatic wildlife. So like I'm thinking of salamanders are. You know, obviously using the water, but then spend a lot of their life, you know, in the upland next to the water. I would imagine, I would argue they would. That would give us jurisdiction. Because they use the resource.
Yeah, lawyerly speaking, I think that might be a bit of a stretch. But what I'll do, to the extent that I can, is I'll do a little research. See if I can find any other conservation commissions or town that have stretched their wetlands regulations to address light pollution outside of the jurisdiction. See if I can. Good question.
All right. Okay. Next.
Next up, we have discussion and potential vote to approve the final conservation restrictions for 9 and 51 Maple Street. So we're just gonna move this, to, I don't know if everybody saw their email today, but Monday, May 4th at 4 PM. We'll do a quick Zoom. There was a change in the conservation restriction. So there's 2 conservation restrictions now. You guys have the draft of both of them. And that is only because the parcel that's, the caretaker's house parcel doesn't connect to the rest of the conservation restriction area there, doesn't connect to the rest of the 100+ acres. So the state made us put it into 2 conservation restrictions. Not a big deal. Then Greenbelt had a few more changes that they wanted to make, and so those changes still need to be approved by the state. So we're gonna meet Monday at 4 to approve those. I'll get them to you as soon as possible. Very minimal changes. The biggest thing is that Greenbelt wanted to be able to put a fence and a gate up to separate the mansion property from the conservation restriction, so people are not driving up the driveway into the mansion property. So that's why they wanted to make that change. So you'll get it soon, hopefully. The state will approve that quick change. Besides that, everything else is pretty much the same. And we'll meet Monday at 4 via Zoom. I'll send you the agenda.
Kate, one comment, I think the maps that you had given us that was prepared, I don't know who for that. There appeared to be some errors on the abutted properties.
Okay.
So you might want to get some of these checked out to make sure those references are right, because the numbers don't square with web records, just give you one spot.
So on the Foxfield Road and the ones around it.
Main Street and Laurel Drive.
Are you saying that the Whitaker estate is downsized?
Yeah, they did the ownership.
But the taxes remain the same.
But as an example, the Bucos, for example, they live on 97, but they also had them owning another property that backed up to their property that belongs to somebody else according to them. So they just, it's not a big deal, but I think they just need to make sure it's correct.
Yeah.
Has the mansion been advertised yet?
Yes,
Is there a price on it?
1.6.
Really, 6.
Yeah.
That's a little bit less than.
How close does that come to reducing our commitment?
So we're not reducing our commitment at all.
Means they're gonna have to fundraise more.
I
Yeah.
thought maybe if they got enough, some of our commitment could be saved towards the Route 97 project, Angeline Farm.
Angelini. So now that it's in the conservation restriction, we are stuck with paying that amount of
I
money.
see.
So it would have had to have been earlier where we got any funding back. But they did put it up for 1.6 and
And
we'll see.
there's
They,
no developments on Angelini Farm.
not right now. I'm in contact with the people at Angelini Farm.
Good.
And they are still working, through it. There are a bunch of trustees. They're wonderful. They're very open.
So they're committed to
talking
talk
the
to
town.
you
Absolutely,
as much as anybody else.
absolutely, yeah.
Great, that's good to hear.
Yeah. And they're back in chapter. So they're doing great. They're farming. Connor's Farm is farming up there, so
Good.
status quo.
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to just mention that I was at the Nine Maple
Oh, the sidewalk.
walk, the sidewalk the other day. And he did talk about fundraising and they said they have about $30,000 left.
And Chris just told me, a couple days ago, they finished fundraising. So they're all set. Yeah, I should have led with that. They're all done.
Yeah, that was up to Ken for his chin.
Yeah.
Was there any public
Well,
discussion? I'm
mine
sorry.
clear.
Go ahead.
I don't know, something,
So they're gonna sell off the house in the 10 acres for 1.6,
15 acres.
15 acres.
That's what they put it out there for.
Wow, that's a screaming deal.
Yeah, and it will have it needs a lot of
That's a
work,
new house, but
Yeah.
my goodness.
but they'll have a historical restriction on it. That will also include the acreage around it, so nothing else can be built on it.
So it must be based primarily on the professional appraisal.
And then they're gonna hold in a trust the other parcel, so the caretaker's parcel. And they'll still be working with Habitat when they did the test pits out there for the septic, because Habitat was looking to hopefully do 6 units out there. The land can only take 2 more units, so there'll be 3 if Habitat can do it. So there'll be the caretaker's house will be redone, and then there'll be 2 more units out there.
I know the Habitat has come before the CPC looking for funding on that. They decided to wait until plans got a little bit clearer before they awarded it.
You got it, exactly. Yeah, so that would be a slow process, and so Greenbelt has said they'll hold on to it to see, if Habitat, they'll give Habitat first shot. And if not, they'll just sell it to a normal developer.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right,
Habitat, excuse me.
Yeah.
With Habitat, we
No,
would use it for
probably.
several dwellings.
so
Yeah.
the septic, there can only be 3 total dwellings. So they were looking at 6 before, maybe 4, and now they're looking at 2 more. And be behind the tree line, you won't really be able to see them.
But Habitat would be interested even with 3 units.
And they're working into it. They'll go to the town for CPC, they'll go to affordable housing
Habitat
trust.
is affordable.
They're the affordable houses, yeah.
1.6 million for 3 affordables.
No, so that, they wouldn't pay that.
Oh.
They would pay like 400,000. That, the Greenbelt would give them more of a deal. And so. The president of Habitat told me that each of their homes cost about $450,000 to build. And when they sell them, generally they sell them around 300,000. So straight off, it's $150,000 loss. And so they would be coming to the town for money.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, discuss invasive plants. So this came up in 2 ways. One way is I have been working with Molly Corson on the Miles River grant that's been going on for over a year now. We're almost done with that. I'll probably have Molly come in and talk to you guys about what we've been doing there. In this process, we've created the Miles River Collaborative. And so right now we have buy-in from Beverly, Hamilton, and Ipswich to work with us. We got to get together twice a year. We're going to talk about how we're working on climate resiliency. And we've got kind of a checklist of things that we want to work on together. And then we're going to start applying for grants together. Because when you apply for grants and you're a small town like Wenham, you don't tend to get the funding. And it's a lot to apply for these grants, takes a lot of time. But if you have a collaboration of 4 different cities and towns working together, that's how you get the funding. That's how we got the Miles River funding to begin with. So now this is almost done. We've got an action plan ready to go. We've got all towns and cities involved. And so one of the first things that Molly and I were thinking of is MAPC, which is the local planning place, is putting out requests for proposals. And one of them, Molly and I were thinking about, when we looked at the Miles River, it's full of invasives, but it's mostly on residential properties. And so how do we teach residents how to properly care for, their wetlands in the river? And so we were thinking about going in for money for education, but then also a pilot program for implementing invasive removal in certain areas. So education and action. So I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. This is a very beginning stage, where I still have to get the rest of the 3 communities together, because this is Molly and I's brainchild. So hopefully they'll all agree to do this together and we'll be able to get some funding for that. And at the same time, Ken came to me about invasive plants. And I said, that's kind of weird. We're thinking about this at the same time. So maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about what you've been saying.
Hamilton, Wenham, the HW paper contacted you also about bagpipes.
They did, and I'm waiting for that article to come out. Have you seen it yet? Yeah. Tim is great. Sometimes they get the articles ready, and when they have like room in the paper, then they throw them in. So I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, that's one of his big things too.
Did you mention Phragmites?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
About 15 years ago, the entity over on Perkins Row it's not Ipswich River watershed, it's on
Perkins.
at Perkins Row in Hamilton, in Topsfield. They came to us with a proposal and the application. In fact, a notice of intent to eliminate Phragmites by herbicides. And we granted it.
Yeah.
Gordon College did as well.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, Gordon College has done this as well.
Gordon College with Phragmites also? I
Yeah,
don't remember that one, but I do remember that. I forget the name of it. It's like Ipswich River watershed. It's an Ipswich River. They were over on the Ipswich River on Perkins Row.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I think they have an office over
the
there.
Audubon.
Audubon, Mass Audubon.
Well, Phragmites also too, when you saw that email that I wrote to Tim, one of the biggest things is fire risk too,
Yeah.
because they go right up in smoke during droughts. So it's not just the environmental risk, there's a public health risk there too.
So I'm sorry to jump in here, but is there any town initiative that's gonna be going forth on that? Because behind Hamilton, the Wenham Village Improvement Society there, the tea house,
Oh, filled over there.
because that's where my house probably.
Yeah.
Bumps it again.
And that used to be
There used to be a skating.
a skating pond. Yeah,
The
Right.
dam is on my property for,
really?
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, obviously that would be looked at during this whole
although
thing.
taking it down might change the character, who knows, we can't have that.
Yeah. We have to rehabilitate it.
Are we talking only about stuff in the riparian zone, or are you guys also thinking about submerged aquatic that may be invasive?
Honestly, this is so preliminary, like this is what we have.
If it's in the river, it's not private property, that's town property, I think.
You know, it was nice.
And I have a wetsuit, so.
There we go.
It was 2007 or 2006 before the big recession we had. We had 3 people from the Army Corps of Engineers with us here, looking at the situation. But then the recession came and government funding dried up, and we lost communication with them.
They were gonna dredge the Miles River, right?
You know?
Yeah.
They were gonna address the dams too. There's a dam at Myopia, there's a Beaver Dam at at New England Biolabs
Yep.
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. And there was
You find that odd that like, there's huge beavers at the biolabs?
yeah. Biolabs would have liked to get rid of it, to make the river healthy after the dam. But we had the chairman of the Ipswich Commission, his name was David Stanley. I don't know if he's still around, but he was absolutely against
Taking down.
touching beaver dams.
All right, so you'll keep us appraised as this goes forward?
I will. And Ken, do you wanna?
Yeah,
another
well, the
newspaper?
reason I got involved with Tim had called me actually, and she said, that, you know, I want to talk about what the Conservation Commission is doing about it basis with particular attention to what he called it, Australian weed, whatever the name is, but it was basically frags. And I said, that's a really good question, because I could not remember any time that this commission dealt with that issue. Of course, it may have happened at the time that I was gone to the issue, you know, the issues that you're talking about, but that would be interesting. He said, well, you know, can we get together? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, let's go out and take a look at an infestation of frag, and that might help root you a little bit, and then we can talk about it. And got me thinking about how it would be prudent for us to have some type of policy put together in case this situation came up again, and maybe even go so far as to encourage removal if we could come up with a policy that worked for everybody. So that's when I went to Kate, and I know Kate, you and Tim discussed this as well. So I think building to some type of policy statement, and maybe people would feel more comfortable at this point, say, okay, I'm not gonna run in all sorts of problems with the Conservation Commission if I go ripping this stuff out or start pouring herbicide on it. Well, pour herbicide on it, but properly, you know. So I thought it was time to address the issue, because it's just very, very serious issue, obviously.
Good, Jackie.
Yeah, so in my experience, it's a lot of the establishment in the first place is always in the edge of the disturbed zone. And where I live, you can actually see it right behind 60 Main Street, right where the edge of the disturbed zone is. There's a stand that's started to grow. So I'm thinking that probably establishing some best practices to ensure vegetation is put in place to prevent frag from taking hold in the first place would be a good way to go. So maybe that's something that, rather than just talk about eradication, talk about ways to prevent it taking hold in the first place.
Well, another fantastic comment, because Casey Lee Bastine, who is the consultant that I work with the most for these kind of things, he works for the BSC group, and he's pretty much known as the climate resiliency guru in the Northeast. He's really almost famous in this area, and he said it will be impossible to get rid of it. But if you plant, like you just said, around it more native species, you can keep it back. Crowded out. And so what you're saying is kind of like right on. You don't want to do a ton of chemicals and on all that. You want to kind of cut it back a little bit and then revegetate the right
Particularly
kind.
it's disturbed.
So I'm gonna recognize our esteemed guest, raise his hand.
Appreciate it. I was just curious, yeah, with oftentimes with invasive management, the practices are so varied and the outcomes often vary. Are we looking to maybe establish different types, styles in certain areas and like test out the best practices? Or do we already have well-established techniques that we would like to implement the best, or at least most approachable to residents?
Yeah, and I think that's what we would be studying in this, if we get the money, is how we want to go about that. Absolutely. It's a good question.
Especially with the varying habitat, like I'm more limited to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It comes to
If I may, also related to this is the policy of applying herbicides within our buffer zone, within our jurisdiction as well. And I know there's regulations out there, but I'm not sure that we have a clear policy on that. Maybe we do, it just hasn't come up since I've been on this commission. Maybe some guidance to people in that as well. People might be more forthcoming to say, we're gonna get rid of the Japanese now, we're gonna spray it with, God forbid, Roundup, but something. But I think
that's no longer a carcinogen,
It's
according to the Supreme Court today.
What's that?
they can't.
Oh, they
Well, yeah, well, it was an interesting discussion, to say the least, who can you sue? But, that kind of policy, we have it on the books and a ready answer, I think could really help a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think one of Molly and I's idea was having some sort of flyer for something that we can have on our website to say, this is what you can do.
Right.
Without going to the Conservation Commission. This is what you absolutely can't do without going to the
And
Conservation
this is what
Commission.
absolutely it should be.
Yeah, exactly,
Right.
yeah. So that would kind of be more of the educational piece and
Right. I think we're all on the same page.
I still think, if, as much as I want to encourage eradication of phragmites, I don't want to see people haphazardly doing it, and so I would feel more comfortable if there's no blanket exemption to coming to us, if they're gonna be removing vegetation of any kind within a riparian zone, in my opinion.
Mr. Chairman, without having to pay the fee.
Yeah, they could do it as an RDA.
But Phragmites is a tall plant,
Yes, it is.
and I think it's, if you're careful to do it a little bit at a time with herbicide, you could do it without bothering other plants.
So Gordon did apply herbicide in koi ponds. Was it effective? Yeah, it was effective. And there was I didn't see any fish kills, but they might have heard, I don't know, but they were doing very targeted application on the stems.
I would anticipate that they hired a pro to do that, but.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing with the Phragmites is,
Auto burns.
people burn it, and that's in Withrow.
Good, and it makes it healthier.
I know, it's not a good thing, but black plastic, over is a way to actually stop the growth and kill it,
Yeah,
once you cut it, so. There are less destructive ways, I guess, to control it, potentially, so I think. To your question, I think it's gonna be very species specific on what is the best mechanism to control some of these invasives. Japanese knotweed is like
Horrible. It's almost impossible.
yeah, I mean. You gotta dig up the roots. And that's
not
small.
easy.
No, that's no small task.
that's an olive Gordon calls behind. Remember we went on that walk that day?
Yeah.
It's an olive.
Yeah. So,
Mr. Chairman, will you entertain a motion?
well, wait a minute,
We got the minutes.
oh yeah, 10 Maple Street, Ken. We were there, 10 Maple Street, we did a site visit there.
Yeah.
I just told them when it's vegetated to let us know. We'll put them back on the agenda.
I move we accept the minutes as written.
I second the motion.
All in favor, Ken?
Aye.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jackie,
Yes.
Leo,
Aye.
I vote yes as well. I don't have any other matters, do you have any other matters?
Nothing.
All right, Leo,
I'd like to move, Mr. Chairman, that we adjourn.
Seconded.
all in favor, Ken?
Aye.
Jeff,
Yes.
Jackie?
Yeah.
Leo,
Aye.
I vote yes as well.